Chapter 9. Stanley stood in the shower and let the cold water pour over his hot and sore body. It was 4 minutes of heaven. For the second day in a row, he didn't use soap. He was too tired. There was no roof over the shower building, and the walls were raised up 6 inches off the ground, except in the corners. There was no drain in the floor. The water simply ran out under the walls and evaporated quickly in the sun. He put on his clean set of orange clothes. He returned to his tent, put his dirty clothes in his crate, got out his pen and box of stationery, and headed to the rec room. A sign on the door said rec room, though. So I'm going to stop here, boys and girls. The kind of recreation room we're talking about would have REC on the door. This said WRECK, which means disaster. Moving on. Nearly everything in the room was broken. The TV, the pinball machine, the furniture, even the people looked broken, with their worn-out bodies sprawled over the various chairs and sofas. X-Ray and Armpit were playing pool. The surface of the table reminded Stanley of the surface of the lake. It was full of bumps and holes because so many people had carved their initials into the felt. There was a hole in the far wall, and an electric fan had been placed in front of it. Cheap air conditioning. At least the fan worked. As Stanley made his way across the room, he tripped over an outstretched leg. "Hey, watch it," said an orange lump on a chair. "You watch it," muttered Stanley, who too tired to care. "What'd you say?" the lump demanded. "Nothing," said Stanley. The lump rose. He was almost as big as Stanley and a lot tougher. "You said something." He poked his fat finger in Stanley's neck. "What'd you say?" A crowd quickly formed around them. "Yo, man, be cool," said X-Ray. He put his hand on Stanley's shoulder. "You don't want to mess with the caveman," he warned. "Yeah, the caveman's cool," said Armpit. "Hey, look, I'm not looking for trouble," Stanley said. "I'm just too tired, that's all." The lump grunted. X-Ray and Armpit led Stanley over to the couch. Squid slid over to make room as Stanley sat down. "Yo, man, did you see the way caveman was back there?" X-Ray asked. "Yeah, the caveman's one tough dude," said Squid, and he lightly punched Stanley's arm. Stanley leaned back across the torn vinyl upholstery. Despite his shower, his body still radiated heat. "Hey, I wasn't trying to start anything," he said. "The last thing you wanted to do after killing himself all day out on the lake is to get into a fight with a boy called Caveman." He was glad X-Ray and Armpit had come to his rescue. "Well, how'd your first hole go?" asked Squid. Stanley groaned, and all the other boys laughed. "Well, first hole's the hardest," said Stanley. "No way," said X-Ray. "The second hole's a lot harder. You're hurting before you even get started. If you think you're sore now, just wait and see how you feel tomorrow morning, right?" "Oh, that's right," said Squid. "Plus, the fun's all gone," said X-Ray. "The fun?" asked Stanley. "Yeah, don't lie to me," said X-Ray. "I bet you always wanted to dig a big hole, right? Am I right?" Stanley had never really thought about it before, but he knew better than to tell X-Ray he wasn't right. "Yeah, every kid in the world wants to dig a great big hole," he said to X-Ray. "To China, right?" "Right," said Stanley. "Yeah, see what I mean?" said X-Ray. "That's what I'm saying. Now the fun's all gone, and you still got to go out and do it every day. Again and again and again." "Yep, camp, fun and games," said Stanley. "Hey, what's in the box?" asked Squid. Stanley had forgotten he had brought it. "Oh, paper. I was going to write a letter to my mother." "Your mother?" laughed Squid. "She'll worry if I don't," Squid scowled. Stanley looked around the room. This was one place in the camp where the boys could enjoy themselves, and what'd they do? They wrecked it. The glass on the TV was smashed as if someone put their foot through it. Every table and chair seemed to be missing at least one leg. Everything leaned. He waited to write the letter until after Squid had gotten up and joined the game of pool. "Dear Mom, today was the first day of camp, and I've already made some friends. We've been out on the lake all day, so I'm pretty tired. Once I pass the swimming test, I'll learn how to water ski. He stopped writing. As he became aware that somebody was reading over his shoulder, he turned to see Zero standing behind the couch. I don't want her to worry about me, he explained. Zero said nothing. He just stared at the letter with a serious, almost angry look on his face. Stanley slipped it back into the stationery box. Hey, did those shoes have red X's on the back? Zero asked Stanley. It took Stanley a moment, but then he realized Zero was asking about Clyde Livingston's shoes. Boys and girls, I'm going to pause here for a second. He suddenly realized something. So remember, he's having an aha moment here. Okay, back to the story. Yes, they did, he said. He wondered how Zero knew that. Brand X was a popular brand of sneakers, but maybe Clyde Livingston made a commercial for them. Zero stared at him for a moment with the same intensity with which he had been staring at the letter. Stanley poked his finger through the hole in the vinyl couch and pulled out some stuffing. He wasn't aware of what he was doing. Come on, caveman, dinner, said Armpit. You coming, caveman? Asked Squid. Stanley looked around to see that Armpit and Squid were talking to him. Sure. He put the piece of stationery back in the box. Then he got up and followed the boys out to the tables. The lump wasn't the caveman. He was. He shrugged his left shoulder. Well, it's better than a barf bag. All right, that's the end of chapter 9, but I want to say this. He's having another aha moment. The guys gave him a nickname just like everyone else. So now you need to ask yourself, why is that happening to the character? Or how could that change things for the character? So I just gave you 2 aha moments.